Hey folks, how you doing? Welcome to ADSR Machine. Make sure you're subscribing to our YouTube channel for all kinds of great content. I'm Steven with Inner Voice Media, and today I wanted to talk to you about parallel compression in Machine. So most of you are familiar with compressors. Pretty standard dynamics processor. We insert it on sounds, on groups, and use it to tame, big dynamic range sounds and to bring out some character. A lot of folks don't know about parallel compression. Just like we did in our previous send effects tutorial, we can actually do a send effect type of processing with the compressor. And this lets us blend a much more heavily compressed signal with a nice, clean, round, dynamic source signal. And that can let us bring out some different types of character, additional depth and power to our mixes and to our tracks. So to get started, I'm using the same beat that I had done for the Send Effects tutorial, with the exception of I've also inserted one compressor here, and that is Supercharger GT by Native Instruments. And I'm a big fan of this plugin. It's a very powerful and character-driving type of compressor. So in parallel compression, we can go a lot more aggressive with our compressor settings. Before I do that, I'm going to mute our effects group and let us hear everything together. Okay, so we got a nice little down-tempo type groove, and it sounds like this. So there's a little more depth, a little more texture, a little richer in terms of space. Let's talk about sending some signals to this parallel compressor. To start out, I'm going to mute everything except for my main beat. And in fact, to get started, let's mute everything except for that snare and that kick. So to send it over, as we learned in the send video, we just want to, in the software, make sure we're on sound and channel. Then we're going to use our aux sends to send a copy of the signal. So we're on that kick, and I'm going to go ahead and send that over to the supercharger. And notice we're pre-fader here. That gives us totally independent level control. It doesn't matter if I change the levels of my main kick. That signal going to the compressor is always going to be going full blast or unity gain. And let's do the same thing over to this clap. I keep calling it a snare. And whoops, that's taken. So we'll come over here. And again, we'll set this to pre-fader. You don't have to. I just find it's useful. It gives you some control. So let's listen to all of this together. So that's a little exaggerated, but we can hear it's accentuating the tail of the kick and the clap, and it lets us kind of experiment with the settings. So we generally want to go with a pretty aggressive. I'm looking at a ratio of 7.15 to 1, which is certainly more than you'll go for on a kick by itself typically. And I've got this set, medium attack, a very, very fast release. I've added some using the character in the warm setting and just a touch of saturation. And this is letting me blend this because I'll come over to my effects rack after I hit play. So it's a little over the top when I've got it going all out, but when I back it off a little bit, it adds just a nice little bit of character. And we can also do this with a whole group. Now, in this group, I had already sent stuff in the previous tutorial. Let's go ahead and get rid of that reverb send, and instead we'll send this whole group over, pre-fader. I'm going to back it off a little bit. Let's hear it now. So we almost don't even need the reverb now because the compressor is actually extending the tails of some of these. So let's hear both those beats. And we can definitely hear a different character has come out with some increased sustain and some changes in that regard. Let's hear everything together now. So we can hear a lot of changing character, especially in the tail of that clap and kind of the punch of that kick. There you go, parallel compression, a really straightforward tool that's often underutilized by most producers, especially in Maschine. I hope you learned something. If you have any questions, please leave a comment on the video page. And make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel. Thanks for watching. I'm Steven with Inner Voice Media, and we'll talk to you soon.